Hi, and welcome to the Dinner Agenda. This is Bo.
And this is CeeLo.
Hello,
Coming at
CeeLo.
you live. Remember? From my basement.
From my basement.
Where my clean laundry is waiting to be folded. And my dog is again sleeping on the clean laundry.
Oh, she's so cute. She's so cute.
I'm going to have to post a pic on the Insta. I'll post a pic on the Insta of her.
You should.
She's kind of like the executive producer of the show.
Yeah.
She likes to listen in.
Yes. And make sure that we're being politically correct and accurate. She's a fact checker.
She's a fact checker for sure.
Yep.
Lazy.
I love it.
Lazy.
Your hair is getting long, CeeLo. I can see it. It's long.
I know, it's way too long.
I love
For those who want to see the length of my hair, you have to go on the YouTube.
Yeah, it's cute,
I need to get it cut. It's making me crazy.
Yeah.
It looks chopped.
Nice. What?
Chopped.
Oh, you're not going to go short, though. Mel won't let you go too short, right?
Yeah, it's in our prenup. I'm not allowed to cut my hair. She's like, don't fucking say that. I didn't say that. I'm like,
but she kind of did, right?
She kind of did. Yeah.
Does she know that I've called her a stripper? Does she know that?
She heard, I think, when we were recording one time, she had come down the stairs and she heard stripper and she was like, what the fuck? But I don't know if she's listened to that episode yet and gets the reference.
Got it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
Weekend so far so good.
Your week.
My week.
Or your weekend, whatever you would let
all
me
the days.
enunciate a little better for you. How was your week, CeeLo?
I got up early this morning to go pick up a shit collection kit from Dynacare.
Oh, you know what? Just a minute. Oh, it's over. It's the other side.
Don't show me. Are you going to pull a shit collection kit out of off the table? What's going on?
I have one too. it's not used yet. I haven't opened it. It's in a, yeah, I know. It's in a, oh my God, an envelope,
plastic bag.
Well, no, this is in an envelope that then you will open, and I'm sure that the paraphernalia for it is inside of a plastic bag. I have yet to do it, and I need to do it, but I have yet to do it. So so for the listeners, so that they understand what we're talking about, in Ontario, right? So I'll start this part, and then you can talk about what your thing is. Okay. But in Ontario, once you hit the age of 50, the health system automatically sends you an at-home screening kit for, oh my God, bowel cancer. What's it called?
Colon cancer?
Colon cancer. Thank you. Shut up. Just shut up.
We're going to need to pause so that you can go get yourself some more coffee, okay?
Listen, I also lose words these days. So this is just part of getting older and part of menopause. And you can suck it, CeeLo. Anyways, so the healthcare system in Canada sends everybody who's the age of 50 and above this at-home screening kit for colon cancer. And basically what you have to do, I haven't done it yet, but apparently what you have to do is put this sheet on in between your toilet seat and the bowl, and then you poo, is what I was told. And then you collect that, put it in whatever container, and then you mail it back, and then they assess it. And if there's any risk, then you get contacted. If there's no risk, then you're good to go. And that saves the process of having to do the more invasive colonoscopy, where you have to do screening. You have to vacate all, substance from your bowels, and then you have to get sedated. And
have you ever had one of those?
No, but Dave gets them all the time because he's got Crohn's. So he gets them every 6 months. It's awful. I know. It sounds just gross.
I don't want to have that done. No, I think for that, they could just put me out, knock me out, put me on the drugs.
But I don't think they do. Because they do it inside of an office, not like a work office, but you know what I mean? Kind of like a clinic, right?
Hi, we're in meeting room East 07 and we're just gonna stick something up your bum.
This is a mandate for every employee now. Yeah. So yeah, but But that's what this is, and you know what? It's funny because you would think that I would wanna do the less evasive test first. CeeLo, it's been sitting here for 2 fucking years.
I was gonna say, it's
Haven't
easy
done
to
it.
do. I've done mine.
Have
It's
you?
easy. Yes.
The thought of it, this is what's stopping me. It's grossing me out thinking about having to poo on something and then, like,
Okay.
put it in something. Like, it's just the thought of it is making me wanna vomit, so
Here's I know, it's not an enjoyable process, trust.
okay.
But you go to the dollar store and you
Okay.
get one of those foil pie plates.
What?
Get a
Why?
foil pie plate. Put that in the toilet, floating on the water. Take your
What?
shitty.
No!
Listen,
Oh,
take your shitty.
okay.
You take out the little thing, you scoop a little piece of the shitty, you put it in the thing. You're not touching anything. And then you just rinse off the pie plate or put the pie plate poop into the toilet and put the pie plate in the garbage.
I
It's
thought you were
easy
gonna, like,
peas.
say, rinse off the pie plate, wash it well, and then use it to bake pie.
Oh, yeah, come on over for pie anytime.
No, I'm sorry, I'm really busy washing my hair.
This
Um,
is mincemeat pie. Ugh.
oh,
Anyway,
fuck. Have you
yeah,
seen The Help? Okay.
a pie plate floating in the toilet water
Alright.
is
I'm
the
marking this down.
easiest. That's what my doc had recommended. The first time I had to do it, it was for Nathaniel for something, and
Mhm,
or maybe for I don't know, one of my children,
mhm,
and she was like,
mhm.
"Get a pie plate that you can throw out, easy peas." I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Oh my god, this
I
whole
did my
process.
screening one.
Okay.
However, the reason I had to go pick up a kit from Dynacare this morning, and you know what? The only Dynacare open on Sundays is at
Yes.
Bathurst and Shepherd.
Oh,
Just
so you had to go North York. Okay.
yeah, so I had to
Okay.
do a little drivey drive this morning
Okay. Mhm.
and go up there to pick it up because I meant to do it yesterday and I didn't write it down on my list. If it's not written down on my list, you know what
It's
happens.
not happening. But why do you have to pick it up? Who needs this in your household?
Well, when we got back, remember the whole Mexico situation with Nathaniel?
Yes. Yes.
And, the hospital there had said, "Follow up with your doctor when you get home," and so we did,
Yeah.
and our doctor was like, "Okay, okay, okay, everything is fine. If he has any trouble or any pain or whatever, come back in, we'll have to do a stool sample." And we were like, "Okay, cool." And he's complained a couple of times, and the other day he's like, "I it doesn't matter if I eat, if I don't eat, if I'm exercising, if I'm not exercising, like, it's just" he always seems to be having some stomach pain. So,
Oh, shit. He's got a
I called
parasite.
this week and
Yeah.
they gave me the rec to do the now, I think he's old enough to do the whole pie plate exercise on his own, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't need to touch it. So, if you
Oh.
think it's bad to go right in there and scoop out a little bit of your own shit, try doing someone else's.
My god. Like, honestly, listen, and I don't know, okay, I can only relate to my animals, not to my own child, but I would assume it would be the same for me if I had my own child. But if one of my animals is sick, right?
Yes.
Or and they get vomit on them, or they shit and they've got poo on their butt or whatever. I mean, it's not my favorite thing to do, but I can definitely go and clean that up and be okay to clean it
Yes.
up. Like Dave gets nauseous at
Yes.
that stuff. So I can definitely do it. And part of that is because it's like it's my baby and it's my baby. So I'm okay to do it because it's my baby.
Yes.
But if I had to do somebody else's,
Well,
like that wasn't my child
mhm.
kind of thing,
I
uh,
know.
and even my own, it's like, oh, like even talking about this, I can
It's,
feel my
like,
stomach
gross.
churning and going, listen,
I
you know what
know.
breakfast you had today? Let's bring
I
that back up.
know.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it. I'm hoping the
Oh,
instructions are pretty straightforward that he can do it on his own.
I
When
hope
he
so
was
too.
sick in Mexico at one point, Mel went into the washroom to help him, and then she's like, "Ooh, ooh." I'm like, "Just get out. I'll clean it up." But and he is my child. He is my baby, right? And I
I
got
know.
this. Like, I can push through. It's fine. I'll get it
Yeah,
done. I will
yeah,
get it done. It's not
yeah,
my favorite thing to do.
yeah.
But he's also like a
Oh my god, he's
6'2" man child, right? So
I
it's
know.
it's not
He's
like
so
he's a
young,
baby.
but he's so tall and big like a man. Like I know exactly what you mean. That it's kind of like, do I have to come in? Because it seems a little odd that
Yeah.
I've got to come in and help you with your shit. But really, he's still a kid. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's still a
Well,
kid.
I
So
would come in after the shit
of course, of course, of course, of course.
with the fan
Okay.
on.
So I think what I should do is try to hold myself accountable here to do the test because I need to do the test, right? Like everybody
Yeah.
needs to do the test.
Yep.
So I'll try
I'm
to
putting it
maybe,
on the list.
oh,
Putting
fuck.
it on the list to check
All
with
right.
you next week.
Okay. I will attempt to do it this week. I'll go get a fucking pie plate. I can't believe I'm going to be putting a pie plate in the toilet. This is just so fucking disgusting. But anyways, let me know how things go with Nathaniel.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he's got a parasite, because
Well,
of all
that's what
yeah.
the doctor is thinking for sure, and Mel's like, "He's probably got a parasite or he's got a worm or something." And I'm like, "Why do you have to say worm? Like, do you think any child wants to hear the fact that they may have a worm in them, even if it is a fucking worm?" I'm like, "Don't say
Ew.
worm. Just
But
say you got a
wait,
little bug."
a little cold in your tummy. A little cold in your tummy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
let's talk for a moment
Yeah.
about the type of parasite. So, if it's one of those tapeworms that helps you lose weight, maybe we can find a
Sign
way
me
to
up.
catch
Yeah.
this, you
Yeah.
know?
Just a
I
couple weeks.
just a couple of weeks just to get it
Maybe
just to get a little bit
2
off.
to 2 to 6 weeks.
I
Yeah,
think at
no
one point,
satisfaction.
CeeLo, they were actually selling tapeworms online
Oh
for
my god, that's
yeah,
disgusting.
they were. There was a community that was selling tapeworms online to people who wanted to lose weight, because, the tapeworm, they would ingest the tapeworm at its very smallest, and then it would obviously grow, within their, stomach area, whatever. And then the tapeworm eats all the food essentially that you're swallowing. So you malnourish yourself, which is why that tapeworm is dangerous. You malnourish yourself, but then you're also losing a shit ton of weight because you're not taking in any nutrients, right? So there was a bit of a trend going on years and years and years. I know, and we joke about it a lot. Like some of my friends and I, we joke about having, like, getting one and all that other stuff. But I mean, just realistically, the thought of having this fucking nasty worm that's growing bigger and bigger, and just like sitting in in your stomach with its mouth going, nom 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 nom, like, like, oh, no, can't.
I just
Why are we
Googled
talking about gross shit? What the fuck? You
I
just
know,
Googled
I'm
what?
sorry, I'm
No,
sorry. Common types of intestinal parasites in Mexico include Giardia, hookworm, whipworm, roundworm, and, you guessed it, tapeworm.
tapeworm. Isn't
Yeah,
that interesting?
yeah. So who
Okay.
knows? I
Before
mean,
you treat Nathaniel, I'm gonna come over and give him a couple of hugs, and let me wash your bathroom for you.
I'm gonna put some gloves on before I do the poop thing.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, make sure that you guys are definitely, yeah. Oh, I feel sorry for you.
Anyway, so yeah, so there's that. So I went and picked that up this morning, so
Okay, okay,
maybe there's some poop spooning that I have later today, who knows?
okay, alright.
And the other thing I wanted to tell you is in our last episode, you were singing certain songs and you were talking about the roller skate and the key song
Yes, yes, yes.
and how it's about sex. And
Yes.
I listened to, so the episode dropped on Thursday, normally
Yeah,
on the weekends, which is now for
yeah,
us, we're recording on Sunday.
yeah.
I will listen to our episode live, like,
Mhm.
and I've had the "I got a brand new pair of roll" in
You
my
got a
head like
brand
an
new
earworm. That's the other thing. Tapeworm, I have an earworm because I can't stop singing that fucking song.
"Let's get together and try the magic."
Stop! Oh my god.
I know,
Yeah, so I
it's
wanted to
hard.
let you know that.
It's hard. Well, there's this other song, you know what, I have to Google what it is. I'm gonna try to get this into your head.
No, don't
Oh,
do it.
yeah.
Don't
No,
do it.
I'm going to. Listen, that mutual friend of ours, she knows all songs,
I know she
and
does. I know
yeah,
exactly who you're talking about.
yeah,
Ask her to sing "Don't Knock My Stall, My Beer Will Fall."
yeah, exactly, I remember that too.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tiny Tim, do you know who Tiny Tim is?
From,
He's
like,
like
the
he's like from the
Disney?
'60s. Yeah, he's from the '60s. He's like some kind of weird dude. Anyways,
Oh,
he sang a song called Tiptoe Through the Tulips. And his voice though, he's like, tiptoe through the tulips. Like it's just so funny. You have to, if we could play it and have our microphone actually catch it, which I don't think it will,
no, I think
it's fucking hysterical.
we
You
have to
have
be
to.
careful of, like, copyright shit or something.
Oh, okay. Well, then, if that's the case, you will have to listen to this on your own and,
I will.
let me know what you think about his
I've
voice.
got it on my list of things to do for today.
Yeah,
Listen
he
to
is.
another earworm song.
Oh, geez, it's so funny, that guy.
I
I don't know how he had a record deal, but he did. But apparently
Yeah,
he was quite the big thing back in the '60s, so late '60s, I think.
interesting.
I
I
know.
was thinking Tiny Tim, like, from a Disney movie or something.
No, this is a guy. This is like a
Mm.
weird, odd man. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I will find it and listen to it as
Yeah,
soon as we're done
yeah,
recording while
yeah,
I fold some laundry.
do that, and then report back.
Um,
Mm.
I have a Tales from the TTC segment for us.
Do you? Oh, no, tell me.
Mhm. It
What?
wasn't bad. It wasn't like urine or feces. This is like the shit show.
It is, apparently. Okay.
I'm
Alright.
gonna write that down. That's our title.
The shit show.
This is the shit show.
Bring listeners and come and listen to
Um,
the episode. Yeah.
so Snowmageddon was last weekend,
Yes, we had a lot
and
of
this
flipping snow.
this week TTCing has not been fun, and I
Mhm,
take a streetcar, and so with the snow on the road, cars can't normally park in one lane or pull over and stop in one lane because there's so much snow, but they do,
mhm,
and so the streetcar can't get by, so then
mhm,
their streetcar's all backed up.
mhm.
Anyways, I left work the other night, and it took me 2 hours and 15 minutes to get home.
What? You're very
I
close.
live
Yeah,
7.3 kilometers from work.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
I do. So was that
And my
because of the weather or because of, like, what was it?
it was slow going, there was
Yeah,
snow, the streetcars couldn't get by, and my buddy said to me, "Why don't you take Subway instead on those
mhm,
days?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." And the next day I did, and it was about the same amount of time as a normal commute. It was
mhm,
just so much more crowded, and
like that.
I wouldn't pick that route, but I
Yeah.
think it was just slow going because of the snow, and I got, on a one that was short turning. So I was like, "Fuck you." So I got off and I started walking,
Mhm,
and so it was a little bit longer of a walk, which extended the time, but a bus had come down the road, and an older man had gotten off with, like, 2 little grocery bags, and he was trying to climb over this mountain of snow, and I'm like, "This
mhm,
he's gonna fall back
yeah.
over." So I'm like, "Here, let me help you," and he passes me his bags, and then I try and grab his arm and pull him over the
Oh, boy.
snowbank and stuff, and he got down on his butt and slid down the and I'm like, "Oh my" if he had fallen back and the
Yeah,
bus driver is not paying attention, like,
he could have
he
been
could
run
have
over.
slid back under the bus and
And
stuff.
this
I
was
don't
an
know.
older man? Like, how much
Yeah.
older? Like, our age older or, like,
No, like, older
younger?
than me, like a retired man, an
Okay.
older retired man, and he was
Okay.
trying to carry his little grocery bags and stuff, but
Oh my
I was
gosh.
just thinking back to, Mel Lastman days. Do you remember Mel
Yes,
Lastman?
I do, I do.
Nobody. Remember?
Yeah, yeah. So this guy, like, Mel Lastman, um, did he own the, my gosh, what was the store, CeeLo?
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys,
Good
that's right,
Boys?
that's right.
Bad
Yes, 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 Bad
Yeah.
Boy Furniture, which was a
Yeah,
big thing in Canada here. It was like a well-known furniture store,
yeah,
and he was a character, so I'm just giving the background for listeners
yeah,
to know who we're talking about, but he was definitely a character on TV, and he would do these commercials, and he would come in with him and his family, and he'd be like, "Nobody can beat our prices,"
yeah,
blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so he was well known for that, and, he was very charismatic, and he ended up running for mayor of Toronto at one
yes.
point, and he won. Okay, so now Sela, what were you
Oh.
gonna say?
And he won, and he
Yeah.
was mayor when we had a Snowmageddon event. I don't know, what was that? 15 years ago or something?
Something, because I was living downtown, so it must have been even longer, longer
20
because,
something?
yeah, yeah, like it was, maybe 25 years ago.
Anyways,
I
long
don't know.
friggin' time ago, we
Yeah.
had a snowmageddon, and he called in the army to help clear the snow.
Yep.
And everyone was making fun of him. Everyone was like, "Really? Like, this is ridiculous. You call in the army to help clear." Where the fuck is Bill Nassman now? Because
I
there are still snowbanks out there
I know.
that people cannot get over.
I know. And it's funny because one of the things that he had said, CeeLo, was we have this Canadian Army that
Yeah.
he said, they do a lot of training here and that kind of stuff. But when they're not deployed, like what are they doing? Right. So he's like, why can't we as a city tap them on the shoulder to say, help us out with some critical things that are affecting people,
Yeah.
and so that was one of the things that he thought to do, and he did. He called in the army. I mean, the snowstorm was really bad. We had a
Yeah.
lot of snow. It actually, shut down the transit system. And back then, it's like, there was no remote working from home. People did not have laptops. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like they
It's
just didn't.
true.
Yeah. And so, if you couldn't make it into the office, work literally just stopped. And for a few
Yeah.
days, work literally just stopped. And so he did call in the army to kind of, shovel out Toronto, the city. And they did do it. And
Yeah.
great, fantastic. But I agree with you, right now, not saying that we should really be calling in our army to help us out, but we
Yes, we
do.
should.
Well, do you think, because we pay a very high tax premium to pay for contracts for snow removal and everything else, and maybe that's just not being worked on
Oh,
as efficiently as it should? Because
don't get me
listen,
wrong. I
yeah,
agree. There are issues there.
yeah,
There are issues with, the fact that we're the city of Toronto and we get snow. I mean, last winter we didn't get a ton of snow, but
no,
there's a chance that we're gonna get snow like Snowmageddon,
hmm,
and we need to have the infrastructure in place to deal with that.
yeah, we don't.
And I get that when it comes lots over a couple of days, it's gonna take a few days, but
Mhm,
the fact that it's a week after the snowstorm and I still can't walk down a main street because it's covered in snow,
mhm,
like, that seems crazy to me.
mhm.
Also, January 14th, 1999 was when he did that 25
Oh,
years ago. Isn't that crazy? Doesn't
that
seem like that long ago.
is. No, that's very interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's kind of ridiculous, but I'm
Mhm,
thinking at this point, although I did see them out this weekend trying to
mhm,
take the snow ridges out of the intersection corners and away from, like, the TTC stops and stuff, but
mhm,
with those super long, streetcars,
mhm.
it can't just be where the front door is, you gotta clear that whole
You do.
ridge because I get out the back door and then I'm walking along the street when I've got a car coming, trying to get through because they're frustrated. It's
Yep.
very dangerous.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
Anyways, so yeah, 25 years ago.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
And I remember I was able to, because my apartment faced Yonge Street, which is one of the main streets in downtown Toronto. And actually, I think one of the longest roads, if I'm not mistaken,
I think
um,
it's one of the longest roads in North America.
in North America. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my apartment faced that, and I could see just how much snow was there and how insane it was. Like it was just an odd time because we weren't used to that for sure. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I have to tell you what I did on Friday night.
Oh, please. Can't wait.
Okay. All right. So there is a movie called Morningside. Have you heard of this?
Okay. Is that the Scarborough movie?
Yes.
Oh, I wanna see that.
Um, okay. Rent it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll
Well,
do
okay.
that.
So let me
Didn't
just
it
explain.
win didn't it win stuff?
I think it did. So I don't know if I can give the best review of it because of the experience that I had at the theater, but okay, so let me just tell you about it. So, both CeeLo and I grew up in Scarborough, Ontario, which is a suburb of Toronto.
Scarborough. Yeah.
And, you know, back in the day when we were growing up in there, it was a really nice little community. And as we started to get into high school, um, things started to kind of deteriorate just a little bit in certain pockets. Now, Scarborough, it's not like in some cities where you have areas that are very elite and then areas that are not very elite. It seems like within
Yeah.
Scarborough, there that is all scattered everywhere, right? So
Yeah.
you come across bad pocket, good
Pocket.
pocket, bad pocket. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
that's just the way that it is. But as
Totes.
we were getting into high school and progressing our way through high school, there, you know, there was a lot more gang activity happening in our high school. I remember we would have undercover narcs posing as students in our school. There was a constant, you know, investigation on trying to catch drugs and drug deals and all that other stuff. And actually, CeeLo, I was telling someone this weekend. Um, I don't know if you remember that boy that sat near us in English class who, when we were writing the exam, he wouldn't write it. He was like just refusing to write it. Do you remember who I'm talking about?
No?
Okay. Um, his first name was William.
Okay.
Okay. He was in our okay, he was in our English class and we were writing an exam and the exam got handed out to him. You and I were writing the exam. He just put his pen down and he wasn't writing it at all. And I remember both you and I were like, "What are you doing, William? Write the test." And he's like, "No." And then when the test was done, we were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "I don't want to take it. I've got a business elsewhere." You know, he's like, "I'm helping my dad with you know the restaurants or whatever." And then he's like, "And plus I've got a side business." And then he opened up his bag and he had guns in his bag. You don't remember that? You must have blocked this
How
out.
do I
I don't know.
how do I not remember that?
I don't know. But when we're done recording, I'll give you his full name and show you his picture. So that you
Well, no, I'm gonna go get my yearbook now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
he was a very tall guy, very tall guy. Anyways, so yeah, yeah, just okay. You'll yeah. Anyways, so I became, and I think we all kind of became aware in Scarborough about how much, you know, gang activity was actually happening. And, you know, it was just getting worse and worse over the years. And that was just the way that it was, you know. And then Kennedy subway station as well became a well-known hub for where the gang members would, you know, kind of get together and that kind of stuff. So anyways, this movie comes out. It's titled Morningside because it's based on the area of Morningside and Lawrence in Scarborough.
Yeah.
And it's a story talking about gang activity in Scarborough. And I think it's based on like seven people who were trying to navigate, you know, living in this environment with this bigger gang activity. It's actually based on a true story about an incident that actually did occur in one of the community centers there. And they've got, you know, what they do, CeeLo, is they show you very key areas, you know, throughout the movie that you'll recognize. And actually, one of them was Warden Subway Station, and they talk about the beef patties. Remember the beef patties?
Oh,
Yes,
those were the best beef patties.
best beef patties ever. And so they actually do you know, a scene where these two young guys are, you know, walking through Warden's, and you'll recognize Warden subway station because of the tiles.
Yeah.
And they go to the beef
Oh,
patty
that's
place and
hilarious.
yeah, so I mean, it was an interesting movie if you've been born and brought up in Scarborough, you know, because you will recognize landmarks and you may recognize some, you know, issues that, you know, you may have been aware of in the
Yeah.
community, but you may not have. Who knows? The story was okay. I think it could have been better. I think they could have done a little bit better with the storyline. But we decided that we were going to see this movie at the Morningside Theater. Do you remember the Morningside Theater?
Yeah, like Morningside and 401, right?
Yeah, like Milner Avenue and the
Yep.
401. Yeah, yeah. So we decided, hey, that would be fun to see the movie Morningside at Morningside Theater. So we went there on Friday night. It was jam packed, jam packed.
Really?
But I don't know if it was jam packed with gang members interested in seeing, you know, it was the rowdiest crowd I have ever experienced in a theater since my youth.
Do you
Literally.
think that, like, people were there like people from Scarborough watching a
Yeah.
movie about Scarborough, so
Yes.
that's what created some of that fun rowdiness, or
100%,
yeah, yeah.
100%, there was a lot of that. There was also a lot of chatter of, slang that I didn't understand, and, also, "We were just there last night. We were just there," so people
Uh-huh, yeah.
were, you know I think that they were connecting with it, but to the detriment of some of the other viewers who really just wanted to watch the movie because it was super, super rowdy, and that kind of put a bit of a bad taste in our mouths because we couldn't
Yeah.
focus too heavily on the movie because there was just so much chaos and chatter going on in the theater in the background, so
Yeah, yeah.
I just thought that was bizarre, but anyways, you might wanna check it
Okay.
out.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
wanna I've seen ads for it, and I wanna see it just
Yeah.
for, like, some of the fun references and stuff about, Scarborough, but I think I'll go to, like, Shops at Don Mills VIP, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
Or rent
I
it when
have
it comes out.
I have not been to see a movie in, like, forever,
Oh,
probably, like,
really?
2 years, if not
Dave and I
more.
go all the time. We go to the movies all the time. Dave is a very big lover of movie theater movies. He likes that whole experience,
Oh
and because
gosh,
of
me too.
that yeah, because of that, we tend to go a lot.
Yeah.
And so, when people are asking, "What do you want for Christmas gifts?" We're always like, "Hey, movie coupons,
Cineplex.
movie gift
Yeah,
cards."
total.
Yeah, because we use them. So,
That's good. I We got into the routine when both kids were, away at sleepover camp in the summer. Then we would have, like, 2 weeks of, like, fun date nights. We'd go for dinner, we'd go see a movie,
yeah,
and then I feel like as they got old enough to leave them at home is kinda when COVID hit,
yeah,
and so we kind of came out of COVID, and I don't know. I don't
yeah,
know why we don't do it more often. Our calendars are bonkers with the kids stuff, but I
yeah.
feel like there is more, Mel and I time now that they have
That's
their
good.
own things
Yeah, that's
happening.
good, that's good.
So maybe we'll do
Yeah,
a
yeah.
movie theater.
Don't do Captain America. Dave and I went to go see that. Dave is a
I'm
huge
not
Marvel fan. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not
He's a huge, huge Marvel fan, and, it was not one of their best movies. I
mm,
found the storyline pretty weak there too,
yeah.
you
I'm
know?
not a Marvel or, what do you call that, like, superhero kinda
Uh-huh.
gal.
Okay, okay.
Iz loves those movies, though,
Yeah,
so she would see
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I have to tell you, on the last pod, you had recommended the movie Unhinged with Russell
Oh,
Crowe
yeah, how did that go?
due to the topic last episode of Mel being unhinged with some road rage.
Listen, wait. I know you watched it, and I wanna hear
Okay.
about it, but you know how I know you watched it? Because your wife sent me a text. "Fucking stupid movie, this is so fucking stu" and I was like, Is it hitting too close to home there, Mel?"
Well, that's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Totally did not see the comparison at all.
She didn't?
No.
Come
She's
on.
like, this fucking crazy. This is stupid, blah, 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 blah.
But wait,
I
she got
think
out of the
that, like,
car.
the first, like, hour of the movie was, interesting and suspenseful and all of that,
Yeah,
and then it kind of veered into
of course, the
a
crazy.
little bit unrealistic,
Of
but,
course.
um, yeah, I thought it was definitely entertaining.
For sure it was entertaining. It's funny to me that she does not see the connection, because the fact that she actually physically got out of a car to go and confront somebody tells you that, there's a connection.
That's what I'm talking about.
But also, have you seen the show Beef?
Isn't I started watching that a while back, and we never finished it.
Oh, Mel needs to watch that. Okay, similar situation,
Yes,
but
yes, yes,
it
yes.
is phenomenally well done. So, I would highly suggest you see Beef with Mel.
Okay, so I think we watched I'll start watching a show with and
Yeah,
we'll get through 1 or 2 episodes, and then, she's got her teenage girl life happening. So then I wait to watch whatever's next, and it never comes along.
yeah, yeah.
Um, the other thing I wanted to Are we done with movies?
We are
Do you have
done.
any other recos?
No,
Yeah. Did you watch the final for the Four Nations? hockey?
I didn't watch it, but I was paying attention to the news that evening so that I could
Okay.
keep track of the score. But yes, we won.
Okay. So we
Canada won.
won
We
in
did.
overtime.
Yep.
Marner to McDavid.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Um, it was a bit of a nail biter, to be
Yes.
honest, I was up way past my bedtime,
Yeah.
and I thought, "If this ends with us losing, I'm not gonna be able to sleep. I'm gonna have a shitty day the next day." This is
I
how
know.
invested I am, you know
I
what I'm
know.
saying?
I know. I get it.
Anyways, what I wanted to mention was the first time they played, we played in Montreal, right? And the Canadian fans were booing the US anthem. And then the second time we played for the final, it was in Boston. And some US fans, although not quite as loudly, were booing the Canadian
I know.
anthem.
I know. You know what? If we're doing it, then I get,
I know, but we're like,
I know.
those misguided people are doing it for what they feel is good reason. And I think the US people are just jumping on like a bandwagon. Why are you
Of course.
booing us? Because
I
we booed you. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. That's why they're doing it. And I
Yeah.
agree with you. And it's, if you want to look at this from a fairness perspective, Canada's the one being attacked by the US at this moment, which is the
Yeah.
only reason why Canada was booing their national anthem to basically
But that
say,
logic does not play out in these
agreed,
people's.
agreed. But it was their way of saying, we don't agree with what you guys are doing or how you're treating us. I get it. We talked about this as well. Don't agree with anybody booing anybody's national anthem. So I'm just ignoring that part. I'm
Yeah.
ignoring that part, and I'm glad that we won the game,
Mhm. Yes, me
you know?
too. Fuckers,
And
that's right.
the
Ugh.
the funny part of
Mm.
that is the memes that were going on Facebook after the win, which is maybe the US can become the 11th province.
I know. Totally.
And then
I think
I think your
I
wife had
know
made a
someone
post.
really well who posted
Yeah.
that, right?
I think your wife posted, and then I put underneath, I was like, well, maybe Premier Trump would be okay with that because he keeps referring to our prime minister as governor, like he's
Yeah.
downgrading our prime minister. So I thought, hey,
100%.
why not be catty and just downgrade him a little bit? But yeah,
Um, anyway, so I was listening to the Jan Arden pod this week, and they asked the question because they were talking also about the booing, and they asked the question of, like, why do we even play national anthems at
yeah,
the beginning of sporting events? Now, I
yeah,
get it if it's kind of an Olympic thing because everyone's playing for their country.
yeah,
And I get that the anthem, I love hearing the Canadian national anthem and it
yeah,
makes you feel proud and you're happy. But like if you're at a Leafs game and they're playing the Canadian national anthem, like
yeah.
there's people on the Toronto Maple Leafs that are not from Canada.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
I know.
And
I
so
know.
they were like, do the anthems really have a place in some sports like that?" So I
Yeah,
was
good
like, "Oh, that's
question.
actually an interesting question."
It is an
So,
interesting question, one that I'd have to really think about.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Just take it out if you don't wanna be bored. If you don't wanna be booed, I mean."
If you don't want to be
You know?
booed.
Yeah,
But then there goes the entertainment factor, right? So,
yeah. True enough, true enough.
yeah. All right. Well, good chat, CeeLo.
Yeah, man.
I'll let you know how my poo test goes next.
Yeah,
Next.
go collect
So
some shit, would ya?
I'll try and keep us posted on the Nathaniel situation and the tapeworm.
Yeah. I will for sure.
All right. Chat later.
You got it. Bye. Thanks for taking a seat at the table today. We love our dinner guests.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow The Dinner Agenda on the podcast platform you use so that you don't miss any new episodes. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Dinner Agenda.
We look forward to hearing your comments, questions, and even ideas you may have on future episodes.
Thanks for taking this journey with us.